Hey everyone, just wanted to talk to you about doing color powder. We've got Becca here.
Hi guys.
And we're going to do a color powder shoot today. So want to talk a little bit about my setup here. We're in about a 24-foot wide, because this is a 20-foot wide background. The background's up about 13 feet. And so we're about 24 feet wide and about 20 feet deep. And talk about lighting. We've got one light directly above, up there. We've got two lights at 45 degrees behind the dancer, two strobes that we shoot at all times. And then the two lights here on the sides that we use as a main light, depending on what they do. Wherever the face goes, that's where this main light goes. I keep continuous lights going because I like to have it dark and create like the right atmosphere, because this is like the act of doing the shoot itself, the experience that you give them is just as important as the final picture. And so you got to create, like, to me, the right mood too, right?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. People often talk about, okay, it's going to be a mess. And you can see powder all over the place already. And it is a mess. We put these clear barrel-sized bags over the lights to protect them. And then we are in a like a warehouse space. That's what my studio is. This is my backdrop over here to the side. It's 32 feet wide, my normal dance backdrop. You can see some of the color powder has been hitting it. It's really a pretty easy clean. If you turn the shot around and show them, come on over here and show them my tarp up here, and it goes up to the ceiling at 20 feet high, and it just keeps the powder from going to any other part of the studio. So we barely have anything in there, and basically all you have to do to clean is vacuum and mop. You know, we just kind of pick everything up and get it out of here, and then just wipe off, you know, whatever equipment is in here. I do these sessions for, this time, 16 days, and when I'm done, I'm an NPS, Nikon Professional Services professional member, and I get free cleanings of my camera. And so when I'm done with the shoot, I send my camera into Nikon, they clean it up. I've never had a problem with it. It just doesn't affect it. These cameras are designed to withstand things like this, and never really had a problem. Not with my lenses, nothing. Have you had a problem?
No, I can't.
She hasn't had a problem here. How many of these shoots have you done? How many color powder shoots?
Oh gosh, I think this is my fourth or fifth one.
Wow, see, she knows what she's doing. So now I'm just gonna kind of like walk you through how I do these shoots. And to start with, let's come on over to the color powder. And I have all these bags of color powder. As I have backups ready to go. And we have all these different colors. These are 5-pound bags. I get a lot of mine from Color Blaze. I used to use Chameleon a lot. I'm looking at how they've changed their powder, so I think I might start using them again. And the thing about the difference between Color Blaze and Chameleon colors, there's some differences, but sometimes they're pretty much, you know, like the same color. But sometimes Chameleon colors is a little bit bolder, and that's why I like to use theirs. But last year their powder got chunky, so I stopped using them. And but they're supposed to be changed, so I've got some new Chameleon color powder in here, and we've been using it. It's working pretty well. The one thing that I like to, you know, like dancers especially, they're taught not to waste or anything. So they'll come over here and they'll get like a little bit of powder or something like that, and it's like, that doesn't do anyone any good. When you're doing these, they've got to be a huge handful. They got to be big and bold. Their handful size must be bodacious. You know, we like a lot of powder. And then I don't have to edit it so much, but I will show you how you can add them and use my overlays to really enhance the throw. Because sometimes you have a little girl in here and she has little hands and there's just nothing she can do. Okay, so let's get started. Now we're gonna go through this as if it's an actual shoot itself, okay? Okay, so when I do these shoots, it's a very slow, methodical process. I actually break down the shoot into two parts. One is getting the technique right, and then the second is throwing the color powder. And I only let them throw the color powder one time. You know, that's why I like them to have a lot of amount. And then it's up to me to nail the timing of it. But the point is that the peak of something that they're doing is not necessarily the same as the peak of the color powder. And so I capture them at their peak technique-wise, and then I capture the powder at its peak, and then I put the two together. When we do these poses and stuff, I also have to take into consideration that we're going to be throwing powder. Becca's been doing this. This is her 4th or 5th color powder session. So she's actually pretty familiar with what she needs to do. But like somebody who's never done it before, I often have to give them a lot more guidance. Like they don't even think about, oh, my hand should be doing this because I'm going to be throwing the powder. I didn't think about that. Okay, so let's start off. What's our first pose?
I'm gonna do a stag. My back leg is going to be straight, and then my bottom leg is going to be pointed.
Okay, so she says she's going to do a stag, and a stag can mean different things to different people. I never accept it for what they say. And so what I always do before we even get started, because I want to see where do I set up the lights, I'm also thinking about how are they going to throw the powder or kick the powder or whatever it might be. So when they tell me, okay, I'm going to do a stag or whatever, the next thing I do is say, show me. Okay, now if you notice, she looked towards the camera as she did that. She doesn't have to look towards the camera. It's actually a pretty normal thing for dancers to do because, they're, like posing for the camera, if you will. But to get the dramatic lighting that we actually like her not to be looking at the camera. As much as possible, 90 degrees or 45 degrees. In some cases, they are going to look at the camera. There's nothing we can do about it, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell her, Becca, I want you to look forward. Okay, do it again. Okay. What I'm doing right now is I'm watching what her feet are doing, what her hands are doing. I want to figure out how can she throw the powder when she does that. And sometimes, to be honest, it's a bit of an experiment. And that's the beauty of my having all the color powder overlays, because if it doesn't work here, then I just create it when we're editing. With her, she's going to be looking this way. She's going to be leaping. So I'm going to be using cross lights right at 90 degrees, and they're going to be up a little bit high, so we get that really good edgy lighting. Okay, so one of the first things that I do with a dancer is I want to add some color to her outfit and to her skin. So get your hair back. And I always put 2 colors on. We want to have different colors. Red and pink would match too much. Here we go. Good. So we just throw on just a little bit just to get them started. It's just the beginning of the mess we're going to have. And now we're going to get our first shot of the day. And again, I'm shooting technique first. So all we're going to do is get a shot of her doing the technique. And I'm ready. We're looking at the image here. I shoot tethered to a 55-inch TV with the idea that, boom, we can see it right away. I always ask them, what do you want to do different? What do you see?
I want to lower my arm a little bit and maybe tuck my bottom leg under a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe lower this front arm just a little bit.
Okay, here we go. I'm ready. So here's the first one, and here's the second one.
We're almost there.
Yeah, we're really close. You can see that her hair is fallen into her face on this one here, and the truth is that like when I edit, I do not edit technique. They've got to get their technique right. But what I will edit is like their face and their hair. I will pull the face, for example, from this one or this one and put it on this one, if this is the one we like. The idea is I don't want to sit here and do 40 shots just to get everything perfect. I'll do that in an artistic studio session, but here in color powder, these are 30-minute sessions. I gotta bang these puppies out. I've got somebody else coming in, you know, and so like Becca's a really, really good dancer, but sometimes I've got like an 11 or 12-year-old kid or even an 8-year-old kid, you know, who's, you know, more of a beginner dancer, and it takes them longer to nail it. And if I've got her face right in one and her body right in another, I'm putting them together. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to her about how to throw the powder. What I'm doing is I'm looking at her hands going up here and her other hand going back over here. So you're going to come over here. You're going to have a huge handful of powder.
Yep.
And your right hand is going to do this, and your left hand is going to do this, okay? Because your left hand goes back, so you're just going to toss it back with your left hand.
Okay.
With your right hand, just before we go, you're going to flip it over, and it's going to start falling out, and then you
let
jump.
go. Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So you don't flip it over until you're, you know,
Down,
ready to
up.
go up. Yep.
Okay.
Okay? You're going to flip it over when you're ready. She has a good amount of powder, and I am ready anytime. I always shoot more than just one. I don't want to just take one shot and just rely on that. And so here is the actual shot. And the timing of the shot is really important. I'm trying to capture the peak of the powder, and there's two different things happening in this shot, the front one and the back one. And so you just have to like understand the timing of it, just like you have to understand the timing of a peak of a dancer's leap as well. And as you can see, her technique is not correct, and that's because, you know, like I wasn't trying to time it on her bottom foot coming up. I was simply timing it on the color powder, and we got exactly what we wanted. So a lot of times after we have a throw, you can kind of see the powder hanging in the air. And so one of the things that I always do is I have my water with me. And so I try to keep the powder as wet as possible. When it catches the powder in the air, you can see how much is already gone. It brings it right down to the ground. And by keeping it somewhat wet, you know, when they kick around the powder, it doesn't come up as much as it would if it was completely dry. So you want to have, you don't want your hair, you want to show your back?
Yes.
Okay, let me see it again, please. So when they do this, I often like have them show me over and over again, and I'm looking at different parts of what they're doing. Like one moment I'll be thinking, okay, what's my lighting? And the next moment I'm thinking, okay, how does the powder play into this, okay? My lighting is cross lighting right now, and that's what I use on essentially 90% of my shots, and that's exactly what I like for this right here. So now we're going to shoot it and see how it looks. Okay, I'm ready.
I still like the other one better, actually. Wait, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, you can decide later, as long as you know you like one of them.
Yeah, I like the first one, I think. Actually, I don't know.
Well, I'm selecting all three. Are you happy with it, or do you want to?
I'm happy with all three of those, I just don't know which
Okay, so what's happening here is I'm trying to make sure that she's happy with at least one of these shots. Like if she's not, then, you know, we'll do a couple more within reason. You know, like sometimes you're dealing with a dancer, to be honest, who's like way too particular, and they want to change like these little nuances that sometimes you can even, like they might want to fix something that you can hide with color powder. That's another thing I do. Like if somebody does something, like let's say they do a center split leap and one of their feet are flexed and the other one is pointed really nice, I can hide the flex foot with powder. No big deal. Like that happens a lot with a 8 or 10-year-old girl, you know, who's just trying it out, and they're doing a great one, but they're not quite pointing yet. So there's so many different things that you can do when you're doing a color powder shoot that you can't do in a normal one, in a normal, you know, like studio portrait shoot. You're going to have both hands here, like this. Wrists in, elbows straight. I always talk about which direction the wrist needs to be, okay? Because if they're like this, it means it's throwing like this, and that's the way a lot of people do, like do it just normally, if you will. Whereas I want it in, and then it's going to match the way her hands are in this shot, and it's gonna like make it really fly out. So hands like this, and then just let it go. And I don't really care about your technique, so whether you even do the passe or not is no big deal, but I do want you to do the lean.
Okay.
Okay?
There.
So I always shoot it twice, or even 3 times, because getting this kind of color powder sometimes is really cool, especially with group shots. So I might actually take this and create it as an overlay and then use it for a group shot. See the powder that we have here in the air? And so I will use my blower to get it going, and then the water to finish it off. Sort of like a 1-2 punch. So with Becca, she and I have been doing this for so long, she knows exactly how I like to do the tilt. And especially with younger dancers, when they do the tilt, they'll do this right here. And you have to teach them, take that chin, get it over the shoulder, and look down the arm exactly the way Becca did it right there. And the thing is that now you can use really good cross-sliding. And, like everything that they do in dance, any kind of, like sometimes they say, what should I do with my hands? With color powder, how you use a color powder dictates that. But in a regular, like, artistic studio session, what you do with your hands, everything's a variation. So there's so many different things you can do. And it's just like the head here, like your head can come forward on a tilt, but with the dramatic lighting I want it over here and going right down her arm.
Can I try with my arms, like?
You can totally do that. Well, no, now, the problem with that is that how do you throw the powder? See, what she's saying is she wants to put her hands down over here, which is a variation of how you do the tilt. But the problem with it is that, okay, but how do you throw the powder if your hands are down there? You don't, Yeah, she could do that right there, which now she brought her hands together, and it would be like she starts out here and then brings them out, and we can do this like spread out throw. So you can do that if you want to.
I want my arms up, I think. I think my bottom leg gets higher, or my front leg gets higher when my arms up.
Yeah, and so one of the things she's talking about right there is that it's actually easier to do the leap when you use your hands like that. So when you do it inside like that, it's actually harder for them to hit the position they want. So that's especially true when you're dealing with a younger kid who's like trying to do something with their arms like that, but they're doing it in a way that the arm is not helping the leap. If you want to improve the leap, get the arms out where it's supposed to be. Okay, let's try it again. I'm ready anytime. And you can.
Not really a tilt. Like I'm like almost even at a middle split.
Almost, yeah. But it's still a tilt. Look at your body. You know what some dancers do? She's talking about whether it's a tilt, like she's not really going over as much as she could. But what some dancers will do is their legs will be at a tilt, but their body stays upright. And you have to teach them, hey, no, you need to, that's why it's called a tilt. You have to tilt your body over, You want to try it one more time and even tilt a little bit more? Now, going back to this head right here, you can see the way I did the lighting. You can see how her face is perfectly lit here. That's what the idea of the cross lighting is. I've got the shadows where I want it to be, and then the lights all along the lines of her legs and her arms. It's beautiful. I love it. Okay.
Ron, you nailed that lighting. Look at me, I'm glowing.
You are.
I'm glowing.
You are. With color powder, when they do leaps like this, their hands are part of the leap. And they're really like, it's a strain to get up there. Plus, look how effortless she looks, you know. So not only does she have to strain to get up there, but then she also has to look effortless like a dancer. And so what you have to decide is how is she going to throw the powder? Because if she's running from over here, the powder is flying all over the place, okay? So I cheat, if you will. I teach them how to do this. So this is what you're going to do here. You're going to come in, and your arms are going to be just like this right here.
Yep.
You're going to be in second position. You're going to do a saute in second position with a slight tilt. So you're going to leap up and just do your hands. You can just keep your feet just like that. Yep. You don't have to go up into a big split. You don't have to leap terribly high, but just kind of go up and then just let it go and just try to get your arms like this right here. Okay?
You're forgetting the most important.
Which one's that?
Whoosh!
So there it is right there.
Where's the last one?
The very last one?
Yeah.
Went here and then here.
Aww. Aww.
So that was really good. That's another really good color powder shot. And you can see that it's very full up on top. And she had she doesn't do this consciously, but she actually released it more as she got close to the top. You know, on both of them, you can see there's a point where suddenly it got released. And so that's where my overlays come into play. I actually have a bunch of overlays, and I'll make it all look like it's uniform. She wants to do something heart-shaped, so I want to do something controlled. So what I want to do is let's just do something simple and a susu with a lean, and your arms are going to end up like all the way over here, but about like this right here. You're going to start in here and end up here. Yep.
Okay.
There you go. Good.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's really nice. Okay, so now this one's going to be a little bit wild and crazy, okay? So you have a slight lean going on. You're going to start just like this right here. You're going to just go into the lean. Stay flat.
Okay. No
Okay?
susu.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And then just whoosh.
Whoosh.
A really good whoosh.
A really good one.
Yeah.
I got it.
Remember, you're going to turn your wrists in, elbows straight. Elbows stay straight all the way up.
Whoosh.
Oh, that's good. Walk towards me. And there it is.
So hard.
You cannot get this look if they have a little bit of powder in their hands. And that's why they have to get a bodacious amount of powder in their hand. Okay, let me see your cabriolet. Okay, I'm ready. You're able to really tilt yourself more. You went over too much with your arms. Like I like your legs, but your arms went too far over. It's like you were trying to really do something that was unnecessary. You know what I mean? Even with her experience, I still want to give her the direction. You don't want to just assume that they know what they're doing. So, hands in, just like that, yep. And then you're going to do that. Go ahead and just do the whole jump, but don't worry about your feet. Don't think about your feet. Your feet can just do whatever they want to do.
Okay.
And then just really jump, tilt yourself, because your right hand has to come up higher than your left hand on this.
Correct.
Walk away. That's pretty cool.
Guess what I'm doing?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to do a sea jump.
All right, let me see your sea jump. Okay, so when they do a sea jump, their hair needs to go in two different places, either back. She had it on her left shoulder, her near shoulder. It can never be there. It needs to be behind them. And then the question is, does it come over and into their face? And if so, then it goes onto their opposite shoulder, which would be her right shoulder jumping this way. Let's go back first, and let's just see what it looks like when it's back. And go ahead, let's do it again. Now the other thing too, if you notice when she does the jump, she takes her hands up here and then goes like this here. So with powder, what that means is it's going to be in her face. And so when we throw the powder, you'll see how I handle it. I don't let her do it like this at all.
3, 2. That's a good one.
That's it right there.
That's it.
What we're going to do is another saute in the second position, tilting back. And I really want you not to take the arms up here, right here, and then just throw it back. So you're going to have it here and just keep it here until you're ready to jump. And then you just jump and throw back, just like that. Yep. That is a bodacious amount. And there it is.
Wow! That is so good!
I want a leg like going up, and you're going to arch back. I don't know which way you're going, but your back arm will go up, and your closer arm will go this way. So, yeah. But not. I don't want you in a passe. I want this foot out. Yeah, like that right there. Let me see it. Nope, opposite arms. Yeah, the away arm has to be the one that goes up. Nope, the away arm. Yep. I'm ready. We're going to do the feet and the arms in a different one. So
Okay.
we're going to do the arms first. Let me see your ending position. Okay, I'm just going to do this, okay?
Okay.
I don't care what your left hand does in terms of the wrists and stuff.
Okay.
This one's going to be here,
Here.
and then you're just going to throw it out like this here.
Okay.
I'm ready anytime. That one's actually pretty cool.
Really cool.
Yeah. That's actually really interesting.
Wow.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is talk about how you get powder off of her leg, because she does a kick here. I have a broom that I always keep with me. Is get your right leg in a starting position. Okay, cool. Now, when you do this, you're going to drag your foot through the ground and then go up and do the kick, okay? Okay, so get your foot in position. When you do this, you do it kind of wide just to try to make sure they don't miss it. It's more important that they get it than it is that you have it like all in one spot. Try not to go too far up, like try to match the height that you did in the actual kick. So this one here, she did a great job kicking it up, but it ended up just creating this big old cloud underneath her. And you have to decide, do I like it? Do I not like it? So we're going to do it a different way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add powder to her foot. Okay, I'm ready. Beautiful. Talk to me about what it's like to do color powder.
Oh gosh, it's so fun. I come back almost every year asking to do it because it is just the best experience. I think just as a dancer too, to like be able to interact with something that you know is going to be cool. So yeah, I've been doing it every single year almost.
What's the difference between color powder and doing the range shoot?
I think they're both very fun in their own ways. I think with rain, it's just like super fun to interact with the water, and this one's super cool to interact with the color. But personally, I like this one better because it's like cool to toss the colors and like seeing all the different colors, see what it turns out to be. With rain, it's water, so it's just gonna splash. But like this, you like throw it a certain way, and it could totally change the ending photo.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.